One Fight Night 15, Lee versus Freymanov is upon us, and now it's time for me to break down every single fight on the card. Let's get started with a welterweight fight between Hiroki Tetsuka and Jin Tae-ho. This one appeared out of nowhere. Tetsuka is on a 2-fight knockout streak and hasn't fought in over a year. Meanwhile, Jin Tae-ho got absolutely decimated by Volmir da Silva and is back after over a year. I'm going to go with Tetsuka for this one. It is a tough fight to predict because Jin Tae-ho has dangerous jiu-jitsu, and the fact that he was able to finish Aguilar Tani so quickly does give me some concerns. Hiroki Tetsuka did have some problems with Tani. However, I don't trust Jin Tae-ho's chin out there. Hiroki Tetsuka has significantly more power than Volmir da Silva does, and Volmir da Silva manhandled him. So I do believe that Hiroki Tetsuka is going to be able to outpoint him on the feet. Jin Tae-ho is longer, and I do worry if Hiroki does try to take him down, he's going to get caught in something. But I do believe that Tetsuka is going to be able to win this one and get a knockout. I'll say in the third round, just keeping in his tradition of third-round knockouts. Next up, flyweights, as Ronnie Suputra takes on Hu Young. Hu Young was originally supposed to be fighting Danny Kingat in what was more than likely a title eliminator. Now he's taking on Suputra, the guy that Kingat just beat. And I actually like Suputra for this one. I am not confident in Hu Young's wrestling. The fact that Kim was able to take him down relatively easily in his last fight, and it was such a competitive fight, I just do not think that he's going to be able to defend against Suputra, who is significantly stronger in the wrestling department. His jiu-jitsu game is extraordinarily dangerous, and a lot of these Chinese strikers just do not have significantly improved takedown defense unless your name is Tang Kai. So I believe that Suputra is going to be able to take him down, out-wrestle him, and get his submission, as Young is going to be frustrated trying to submit. And then Suputra is going to get a Darce or something. I'll say Suputra via a first-round submission. After that, we have Timofey Nostukin taking on Zhang Lepeng. Both of these guys are coming off losses, and this fight can be very competitive. A lot of people have Timofey written off because he is coming off of 3 straight knockout losses, but all the guys he lost to are very high level. The thing about Lepeng is, he has 2 significant wins in one. He knocked out Ruslan Emelianoglu, who is a decent welterweight, weight division above him, and he beat Edward Flying in a decisive decision. He also had easily the best performance against Sajid Izagamayev, taking him to a decision. I believe Lepeng is the better technical striker out there, and I just do not trust Nostukin's chin as much as I used to, man. The fact that Halle Mir was able to decimate him out there, and Halle Mir struggled against Abiv, really does show you how far he's gone from those prime days of obliterating Eddie Alvarez. So I'll have Lepeng being able to outstrike him on the feet and be able to take him down consistently, as Lepeng does have underrated wrestling. So I'll have Lepeng via a... I'll actually have him getting a finish. I think that Timofey is going to get reckless out there, and Lepeng has such dangerous counter shots. So I'll have Lepeng taking a second-round knockout via a counter hook. Then we have 2 top 5 strawweights taking on as Joshua Pasio fights Mansour Malishev. Pasio is coming off of an unsuccessful fight where he lost his strawweight MMA title against Jared Brooks. Meanwhile, Mansour fought back in June, submitting Jeremy Miato. Now, I really do like Pasio for this one. Mansour had trouble with Miato out there, and Miato, even though he is a very big strawweight, he does not have the best wrestling on the ground, and the fact that he was knocked down by Miato does not give me much confidence, especially since Pasio has god-dear takedown defense. The fact that Brooks was barely able to get him down, the only times that it really ended up on the mat was when Pasio made pretty bad fight errors, and here he could make similar errors there, but I just do not I trust him too much to give him problems here. Pasio is going to be nailing him right from the start, putting him on the back foot. It's going to be harder for him to get an adequate shot in for Mansour. Not to mention, Pasio has dealt with far better submission guys. Jared Brooks, Seato on the ground, those guys have a far more versatile game than Mansour. I also think Mansour is relatively small for the division. So all of Pasio being able to outpoint him here and get a first-round knockout due to his explosive power. And then that sets up a rematch between him and Jared Brooks. Mikey Musumeci, the reigning flyweight grappling champion, takes on Shinya Aoki in an open submission grappling contest. Not a whole lot I can say here. Mikey's probably going to dominate here. Aoki is very tough and he's strong out there. Maybe he's going to be able to get some dominant position hold because he is going to be significantly bigger than Mikey. But Mikey is just one of the highest level jiu-jitsu practitioners out there. He might be the pound for pound best guy on the planet. And I just don't think that Aoki is going to be able to do much. Aoki did survive against Tairu Tolo. However, I believe that the submission threat from Mikey is just going to be on a whole another level. Mikey's going to get a submission late into the fight, I'm going to say approximately 8 minutes in. Then Tawanchai PK Saenchai takes on Joe Nadawan in featherweight kickboxing. Another pretty easy fight to predict here. I got Tawanchai. The fact that Joe Nadawan took it on short notice does not give me much confidence in him. He does have knockout power, perhaps the hardest hitter out of anyone that Tawanchai has faced, but his boxing ability is not as strong as someone like David Kiria, and Kiria had such a difficult time penetrating Tawanchai's guard. Tawanchai should be able to just outpoint him for the majority of this fight and score a pretty easy decision win here. Then, in the co-main event, Jonathan Della takes on Daniel Williams. This is going to be such a fun fight to watch. Williams is always game. He's had a full training camp. Meanwhile, Della is one of the more technical kickboxers out here. He's been doing it his whole life. Debella's, on paper, should have this fight won easily. He has some of the best footwork of the entire division. He makes improvements in fights that you really don't see out of a lot of the other guys in this division. However, Williams is going to have a lot of success in this fight. First of all, Della does not check kicks very well, and Williams can really go to a lot of leg kicks in there to have success against him. Then you have the fact that Williams has devastating one-punch knockout power that a lot of guys have problems with. However, to counteract that, Della was able to deal with the leg kicks of Zhang Pimen very well, not to mention avoid most of the shots that Zhang Pimen had, and I would go on a limb and say that Pimen has more power shot for shot than Daniel Williams does. So even though Williams can have a lot of success here, if he does fight more technically, if he can push a firefight out of Williams, I could actually see him catching him and maybe even knocking him out there. However, Della is very intelligent, so I do believe that he'll be able to outstrike him for the most part, capitalize on his opportunities, and get a 4th round finish. I think he'll just wear on Williams too much, and Williams will gas out in later rounds, and Della will just be able to tee off on him and get a 4th round finish. Finally, in the main event, Ton Lee takes on Ilya Freymanov. This fight is not going to a decision. It's going to be dangerous for both men because both men's chins are not the best. Ilya Freymanov has been knocked out a couple times in his career. So has Ton Lee. I do trust Lee's chin better, but at the same time, he is significantly older in his late 30s, and he's been out for over a year. But at the same time, man, Freymanov is coming off of a pretty close fight where he got knocked down by a bantamweight and got his orbital bone broken. So you have to wonder how well has he healed up since that fight happened. Now, both of these guys shine in different aspects of striking. Freymanov does significantly better in that clinch, utilizing those knees, that dirty boxing. Meanwhile, Lee loves the range. He has that karate style, which leaves him susceptible to leg kicks, but it also means that he's a great counter striker. I do like Lee in this fight. He does have more power in his hands, and Freymanov is way too hittable on the feet. I think that he's just going to get clipped trying to enter the pocket, and I don't trust his chin to deal with Ton Lee's power that much, because if you look at the guys that was able to finish him, he didn't have too much knockout power and wasn't known for it either. So I will have Ton Lee being able to catch Freymanov coming in and knocking him out. I'll say in the first round, because Ilya Freymanov, he is coming off a 2 first-round finish. He's going to be a little too overambitious in there, and Lee's going to be able to capitalize on it. So I'll have Lee winning via knockout and progressing to a rematch with Tawanchai. And that is it for my video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and consider subscribing for more content. Leave a comment down below, tell me your own predictions and why. This is Shai Productions, and I'll see you all next.